session would be our prepared speech session. There is an old saying goes like, you cannot please all the people because you are not R&B. But in this evening, there is one who is named USD. Now let us see if this USD can put us all as well as RMB. Now let's warmly welcome US David to deliver his ice-breaking speech, A Trip to the Past. A Trip to the Past. David.
Before I begin, I want to make sure you can see my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me? Can everybody see me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. You can see.
Yes.
Let's take a journey, a step back in time, a step back, not yesterday, not last year, not 10 years, not 20 years, but almost 30 years ago. Today, I would like to share with you my story, my encounter in Shenzhen, and I would like to take you back in a time journey back in the 1990s. First, before I begin, I want to show all of you a place in Shenzhen. Do everybody know where this is at? Window of the World.
Window of the world.
Anybody have not been there? Raise your hand who have not been there. I'm sure a lot of you who been to Shenzhen will notice it's a scenic spot. For those of you who have not been there, it's an exhibition for all corners of the world. Different places, different continents, different countries, different nationalities, and different cultures. This is my journey. My first journey began in Shenzhen because the Window of the World was done in the early 90s, in 1994. Where were you in 1994? Were you in Shenzhen? Or were you in other place in China or elsewhere? For me, this is my start of my journey when I was a toddler, and I want to take you back into a time journey back in 1994 when the park just opened. Because this is where I began my journey in Shenzhen. Fellow Toastmaster and guests, when the Window of the World opened, I was very excited and jubilated because I want to see every exquisite exhibition in the park. This was me, August 1994. And for the ladies, you can clap if you want. I've changed a lot, absolutely. But it's a time when I remember I was only a few years old and learning not just to speak Mandarin at the time, but I was speaking Cantonese. This was the Niagara Falls, right next to the entrance of the Window of the World. I also had the opportunity to travel to all corners. And a lot of you can guess where I love the most at the Window of the World. Any guesses? Bruce already made a great introduction of me, USD. Obviously, I went to America. There was the exhibition in front of the White House and the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This was my first exposure to the United States. Not in Hong Kong, not in America, but here in Shenzhen, 1994. And that journey gave me a lot of exposures to where I want to be. I look at the great scenery of New York City. If you notice behind me, there are two towers there that are no longer in New York. The World Trade Centers that has been brought down during the 9/11 terrorist attack. This has taught me very well where history, places, and time coincide. They come together. And that's the reason why I want to share with you, because this is where everything started. Before I even stepped foot overseas, I have already seen what happened overseas, all thanks to Shenzhen, Windows of the World. I also had the opportunity to visit a park nearby called Minzuchuan that has to do with a Chinese Oriental cultural exhibition where you have different scenic spots. And a lot of you are wondering, why do I have so much passions in going to places? I like to explore cultures. I like to explore different places, but more importantly, people. People is what drives me to have the adventure, to go outside, to venture out, and to take a look at every single exquisite detail to every large things that I've seen in the world. You can see the contrast between me now and what happened in 1994. Time has surely passed very quickly. And I remember, still the first time I remember visiting the park while I was staring in this bridge. Am I going to cross the bridge? Do I have the courage to take a step forward into the unknown? I realize all of us are captains of our lives. This was taken before Ship Toastmaster was established. I was already a captain on the boat on 海上世界. And I believe each and one of you can become captain of your life. It's not just what ship stands for, but it's where we want to head, where we want to go. The directions from our past influence our future, where we will go, where we will take part in our life, and where we will end up. And I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to come back. But before that, I had already visited that many countries since 1994. Fellow Toastmaster guests, do you want to venture outside? Do you want to take a step out? But before you do that, travel back to the past, look into yourself, and look into your inner childhood. What do you remember most? And what do you enjoy most? Take that memory lane and travel to present time and decide how your future will look like. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful, David. And